Yeah, it looks like they took down the stream. Okay, guys, it looks like they took the stream down. It looks like the stream got taken down, guys. I'm not sure who's still out there. They do this to me all the time. They take the streams down, and not sure if you guys could see me out there. They get worried once they get 100, 150 people viewing the live stream. They start to panic real quick in a heartbeat. Can you guys see me now? Could someone in the comments tell me if they could see me now? Yeah, the stream isn't getting out there, guys. I'm really sorry. I'm just getting bombarded with a lot of Facebook messages right now. Let me see here. Mike, are you going live on Trends in the Housing Market? Mike, Trends, where are you? Mike, are you there? It's me. And yeah, I'm just getting a ton of that right now. Okay, everyone says I'm on. I see you. Okay, so I've been getting in and out. I've been getting kicked out. So the original stream that started it looks like it got taken down. Okay, so it looks like I'm continuing with the new stream key. Okay, did you guys even hear me from the beginning? Or do I have to restart the show? Man, okay, well, it's Trends in the Housing Market tonight, and today is the 8th of July, 2020, one of the worst years in history, or one of the worst years they're making it seem. Oh yeah, creating that. They're creating that sense. Anyways, okay, guys. We can see you, Mike. Craig says he can't see me. I'm not sure why Craig can't see me. He's out in New Zealand. Okay, just got on. Okay, guys. So it looks like the stream, the first few minutes of the stream got taken down. Just see you now. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, so there it is, guys. We're starting it off. Owen's asking me to restart. I'm going to call Owen right now. I don't care, Owen. You better pick up your phone because I want you to come on the show because we need to talk. Because we talked on the phone the other day. We had a very important discussion, and I think people in Canada and the Commonwealth, especially in other countries, need to understand what is happening with this. So we need to get this out there. So let's do this here. Let's get Owen on the phone. Let me get Owen. He's in my favorites here. And I need to get him on the phone so he could give us a little bit of discussion on what is happening. Okay. So let's see if we can get Owen, O-W-E-N. Let's see if we can get Owen. I don't have an Owen in my friends list. Why? Owen, did you block me? There we go. There's Owen. Let's get Owen on the show. All right, I'm not getting any audio here. Something happened. I went on another live stream and... Okay, I can't hear Owen. I went on another live stream and it just changed my settings on everything. Okay, it can't find my default video. Give me a second here, Owen. Owen, can you hear me, buddy? Okay, I can't hear Owen. That's the problem. So I have to figure this out, guys. I'm trying to get a caller on the show. Man, I went on another stream. The whole platform screwed me over. It completely screwed over my okay, so digital speakers, high definition audio device. I'm just trying to find which one that is. I'm gonna call Owen back right now. Guys, you need to hear what he's got to say. So don't worry, there's not a lot of people watching, so I'm not stalling a lot of people right now. Okay, I'm not getting any audio again. Oh, damn, that stream just killed me. Oh, damn. Okay, I have to go into... Guys, I'm really sorry about this. I am very sorry about this. I'm not getting any audio, so let's go back. Let's go into audio and video. I'm really sorry about this, guys. Let's keep going here until I find the right one. Owen, can you hear me? Yeah, he could hear me, but I can't hear him. So I'm SOL, guys, tonight. Wow, I am SOL.
Hello?
Okay, there we go. We're hearing you. All right, thank you, Owen. Oh, you're coming through my TV! Holy smokes!
Yeah.
Let me fix that right now. All right, can you hear me now? All right, just keep talking until I catch you here, buddy.
Okay.
Okay, I got you. I got you. I
I'm
got you.
still here.
There's 58 options to select. I'm really sorry about tonight's show, guys. Like I said, I was on another live stream and it just screwed everything up on this end here, and I did not know it was going to do that. I'm very, very sorry, Owen, for that.
No problem. No problem.
Okay, now you got a story and a half to tell us. I did a story about it. Did you see the story I did about it, or it got flagged?
No, no, I seen the story about it. I seen it.
Okay, can you tell our listeners living in the great country of Canada, what happened? The letter you received. Tell us about this letter that was corresponded to you.
Well, the letter basically was just a an increase of property tax for the later half of the year.
Okay. Now, how much of an increase are we talking? Are we talking like $50 a year? $100 a
No,
year property tax increase?
I wish it was just 100, but it was three times more.
Okay. So, how much did it go up per month?
300 a month.
I'm sorry, Owen, I'm on with you. I'm just kind of rubbing my temple here, and I'm
Yeah, I know.
trying to fathom the average Canadian family affording $300 extra per
Yeah,
month for property tax. So I did the video and I discussed how you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, right?
yep,
So
you're
the
right.
people waiting on the sidelines waiting to buy a house, now they buy a house or prices start to correct, let's just say for argument's sake, right?
Okay.
Prices start correcting, but then you get a rude awakening when your tax bill comes.
Yeah. I don't know. You're caught in a rock and a hard place.
So can you describe to us how you felt when you read that?
Like it was a mistake by the municipality.
You thought it was a mistake. Did you contact somebody? This is, guys, this is coming from the city of Brampton, which is like northwest of the city of Toronto, which is about 35 to 30 kilometers, Owen, arguably 30 kilometers away from the city of Toronto.
Yeah, yeah.
About 30
30,
clicks.
40.
Okay. So for people watching in the Commonwealth. Okay. So tell us so did you contact the municipality and ask them if this was a mistake?
Yeah, well, we've been trying to get in contact with them for the last week, and they're flooded with call. Well, they don't have a lot of people, staff working right now because of COVID.
Oh,
So I
Covey. Yeah, Covey. Uh-huh.
haven't been able to reach them as of yet, but uh, we're still calling. Like even today we called, but their line was busy.
Hmm. Dude, I don't even know how to, I know people, like I've known of people that would freak out when they get an increase of $3 a month on their phone bill or something. We're
Yeah,
not talking about $3, okay? We're
no,
talking $300 a month. That is $210 American per month. That is like 4,800 Mexican pesos. And that's what some people in Mexico make in 6 months.
yeah, I know. I have another buddy that lives on the other end of Brampton here,
Okay?
and his property tax only went up by $35 a month. So I know it must be a mistake or something why mine was so much and his was so little.
300 bucks. So, okay. So yeah, you know what? But you know what, Owen? I looked into it. And I looked into several postal codes in Brampton. And you know what I
Yeah,
found?
what'd you find?
I've seen increases from $130 a month to about $520 a month.
So why does it vary even though we all live in the same city? Like you said, from one end of Brampton to another end of Brampton, it's different
It
prices.
varies on the price of the home. So if the house is
Oh,
worth more, you're
okay.
obviously going to pay more property tax to it, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's on
S-
the assessed value.
Right. So if you have $1 million home, you're going to be paying $8,000 a year in property tax, and if you have a $200,000 home, you're going to be paying $1,800 a year in property tax. So
Yeah.
it's the value of the property that dictates what kind of what the market value of the property is. And guess what? It's been pumped up so high.
I know.
Woo!
There's no way this house is even worth half of that.
I'm just taking a breath here. I can't believe it. So, is there any way you could follow up with us and let us know what happens in the next couple of weeks if you could find out for me?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We're still inquiring from the city.
Mm.
There's also a new, remember when I called you and told you about the new water storm charge?
That's correct. Can you explain to us what the water surge, or please explain it in your words? Because when you told me this, I had to blow into a paper bag because I was hyperventilating.
Well, basically the water that runs off from your house, they're charging you for it going into the sewers and them having to process the water, clean it, cleanse it, whatever they got to do uh to the water. But yeah, they're charging for that now.
Okay, so it's raining. It's raining outside. How did they
Yeah.
gauge how much rain falls, and how much did they gauge how much comes off your roof? How did they gauge how much goes down your driveway into their sewer system?
Oh, well, they don't. They base it off of the roof size of your house.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's how they quantify it.
Mm.
So on the website, they'll have like if your house is in between this square footage and this square footage, you pay this much. If you're from 1,500 to 2,000 square foot house, you pay this much. If you're 2,500 and over, you pay this. That's how they uh, organized it.
Wow, that's a very sophisticated model they got there.
Yeah.
So Owen, I got Ashima, I got Joginder Basi in the saying that you're straight out lying.
What?
Joginder, I know Owen personally. I've met him many times. I know his mother, his girlfriend or fiance. I know him very well. He knows my family. He's met my family. You know what I'm saying? So he has no reason to come here and lie. The first thing he did when he got that property tax statement was call me up right away to let me know what was going down.
Wow, they think I'm lying. You
No, I
can
know that.
just,
No. I know you're not lying. So hold on. We got a little backup. Here's the backup. Our friend Ashima, who knows the area, saying, "I know my friends are paying $1,000 Canadian per month on property taxes in Brampton,"
holy snap.
and she wouldn't be lying. As sure as my name, as sure as my own name, she wouldn't lie. Nor would you.
A
So,
$1,000 a month.
yep. Can I tell you something, Owen?
Yeah,
Did
go
you
ahead.
did you know that my mother, when she sold her home after my dad passed away, God bless his soul, it's going to be a year soon. Did you know that my mom's property tax would have gone up to about 790 a month, 800?
No, I believe you. I
So,
believe you for sure. Because the houses over there where your mom lives, they were pretty much on par with where I live, right? They're like $1 million house too. So
right.
it's insane.
Okay. So we got so what if one wants to save the roof runoff? So okay, so Blunt News has a good question. What if you have those I have rain catchers barrels around my house that picks up the rain that falls. So if I
Yeah.
need water, there's a shortage, or the city decides to cut the water off to let us suffer. Um, how do you like? How does like? What if you catch your water? How do they gauge? Oh, well, they don't. They just go by your
They
square
don't.
footage.
Yeah, it's a flat rate. They're getting the money from you whether you catch all the water or you don't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, it's another unavoidable tax that they're adding on.
Um, I have a really tough time like digesting this. I know it's happening. I knew they were gonna come. Remember 2 years ago when we were talking about they're gonna come with the property taxes once the Canadians or the people finally can get into the markets? Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
I know you don't miss too many of my shows. I know you're always on, and that's why we met in person many times because you quoted so much of my channel and the things that I've talked about over the years that it just blew me away of how much you knew of like
Yeah.
what we talk about here.
From watching all your videos, Mike.
But have I saved you when
Yes,
it
you
comes to
have
not
saved
buying?
me.
Because you were ready to buy. You had a lot of money to put down on the house.
Yeah,
You were ready to buy, and I told you don't buy. And then look what happens a year later. COVID.
COVID happens. Yeah, and I know other people around me who have lost their job, but like you said earlier in your video today, because I'm in construction, we're essential, so I pretty much worked through the whole thing so far.
So we got so we're gonna ban a few people because there's a lot of the thing is the problem is we don't even know if these people are serious here in the comment section. There's a lot of people that are just trying to ruin the channel for us. That are
Oh,
coming in and calling our guests liars and stuff. So there's a lot of other channels they could go to if they want to form an opinion like that. So they could go ahead and do that because, yeah. So
oh,
yeah, we get that all the time. I get that all the time on this channel. Just people coming in, and a lot of them don't even subscribe to the channel. They just come on to cause troubles and you know what I'm saying.
what do they think I'm lying about though?
It doesn't matter.
It's on.
You don't have to justify them. There's nothing to justify. You're always gonna have people that think they know everything. So yeah. Okay, Owen, buddy, it was a pleasure having you on, and I hope maybe you could make a trip out here and visit me, and yeah.
Visit you and your family over there.
You know I got the
And
space. Anytime you want to come, you're more than welcome. I really appreciate it.
thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for that story, and follow up with the follow up if you can with the city, and let us know what they told you, please.
Okay, I will, because I know for sure it has to be a mistake.
I hope to God it is, because $300 a month increase in property tax, in my opinion, is death when it comes to a lot of families.
It is death.
Yeah.
Jeez.
All right. Say
Okay.
hi to your mom for me and your girl, and we'll talk soon, brother.
All right, take it easy, Mike.
Good night.
Oh.
That is my man Owen, and Owen's been on the show several times. I've met him several times. I even have a video of him, like me and him selfieing each other. I don't know, Owen. Let me do a plug for you, buddy. I like you. I like Owen a lot. Let me do a plug for Owen here. So let's just do a quick channel plug. Oh, we got our Mike in the Night. Let me see. How do I download this? I got the Mike in the Night for you guys. The intro for Mike in the Night. It is a reggae format from one of my big fans from Kingston, Jamaica. Made me a Mike in not Mike in the Night. Oh my God, a Trends in the Housing Market jingle. So I'm trying to see if I could download this thing. It's through Facebook, and I want to see it lets me forward it and remove it. And let's listen to it. We need to get the price of the housing and the land so we as a family could stand strong. So that's the new Trends in the Housing Market intro from a fan, a reggae singer. I'm not kidding. He's got albums out there. Made this video for Trends in the House, well, this song for Trends in the Housing Market to use as an intro. He sent it via Facebook. I'm trying to see if I could let me forward it. It doesn't let me download it, so I'll figure that out later. Okay, guys, let's do a quick channel plug, guys, so you know what's going on. I don't have much people watching tonight. Very little audience. Very little audience watching tonight. The stream got derailed earlier, and then I had to restream. I'm not sure if anyone's picking it up. Oh, wow. Oh, well, let's go to article scan here real quick. Guys, don't forget to set up your night for, let's see if it's showing live here. That this is showing live. Let's see if they kept the stream key. So there it is, guys. Guys, don't forget to set your reminders for Mike in the Night. We got a good lineup of guests. And this Mike in the Night's called Mike in the Night. You run for cover so discreet. Don't forget to join us on that and set your reminders for other trends in the housing market and other episodes there. And what else have we got going on? Don't forget to go on Trends in the Housing Market Replay. Hundreds, if not, I think I'm around 400 shows on, like 240 or 50 shows on Trends in the Housing Market if you guys want to come on. And tons of videos. I've even this video I put up today is getting a lot of traction. It's not even coming up in my thing, eh? So here it is. This video right here. Permanent change is coming. There I am opening my door at my shop, and there's this psychedelic whirlwind of colors there. It's got 800 views in less than 4 hours. That's probably one of the bigger videos I've done this week with a lot of viewership on it. So that's that, guys. Check out the channel. Okay, pick up something on Teespring if you want a shirt, a mug. Don't forget to, I'm going to give you guys my Facebook. If you want to join me and message me on Facebook, you're more than welcome. And you can send me show tips there. And if you want to send me show tips to the Mike Martins, Mikey Martins here on Instagram. And don't forget to check this channel out. It's called Nephilim Films Presents The Myth is Canada. So if you guys, they're live right now. If you guys want to check them out, please check them out. I'll leave a link for you guys in the comment section. I was in there today. I was a speaker there today on their panel. Unfortunately, I stayed the whole time. I stayed on there the whole time, but I was completely off topic with I was on trending with what they were talking about, but I was completely off topic. But I hope they forgive me. I'm usually a one-man gang when it comes to running the show here. I've been doing it for so many years as a one-man gang and doing my best. Oh, we got Grindhouse Cartoons in the comments. He told me he was going to come on sometime. I really hope he comes on. Grindhouse, I know you're watching this because I see you commenting. If you could come on Mike in the Night on Saturday, man. I know where you're based out of. I know what you've been up to. I've been following you on Instagram. He's a really good guy. I really want him to come on Mike in the Night because he's got a forefront exposure of what's going on in the United States and especially where he's based out of. He's got a good perspective on things, and he expresses it through his art. Guys, Grindhouse Cartoons, check, I think he's got, do you have anything on YouTube? I'm going to check out his channel later. I know he subscribed to me, but I see him a lot on Instagram is where I see him. Okay, Craig Cook says, we're on it. Sean Lieberman is asking, are you backing up your videos? A lot of my stuff is being uploaded automatically to BitChute, because I'm mirroring it, so it's slowly uploading to BitChute as we talk. Search for the Truth says, I love the haircut. I know, it looks cute. I kind of look like alfalfa in a way. Okay, guys, let's get into trends in the market, trends in the housing market news. Guys, I'm really sorry about tonight's participation. There's only 70 people watching. I'm really sorry about that. A lot of people aren't getting their streams or notifications. I'm sorry about that, guys. We're going to have to set something up. Let's start with a couple of bombshell. I want to go over to the United Kingdom for a quick second here because it's kind of important. We do cater to the entire Commonwealth here. UK house prices fell for the 4th month in a row, says Halifax. Figures cover the full month. English estate agents were open after COVID closure. Yep. So here it is. House prices have fallen for the 4th month in a row for the first time since 2010. Though at the same time, inquiries about the new mortgages have surged according to the Halifax. Average UK house prices fell 0.1% in June, which was the first full month that England's estate agents were open for business again after the housing market was allowed to restart on the 13th of May. However, despite this beginning of the fourth month price fall in a row, the Halifax said some of the news was encouraging, with June seeing doubling in the number of new mortgage inquiries from potential home buyers in England compared to the previous month. So there it is. We covered this last week on trends in the housing market that they're seeing huge declines in some areas there. We have the Australian markets open right now. We are following oil, gold, silver. We're following everything here in the Australian markets. I always have it open because I'm heavily invested in the stock market myself, and I've been buying and selling in the swings, and it's been good for me, and I hope it's been good for you too. So I have this article open out of Australia, why experts say you shouldn't buy a property right now. This is very important, guys. Look at all these properties sold on these billboards, and people, the Australian proper is having such a tough time getting into any of these markets. And let's look at this article a little bit closer. This was sent to me from someone from Sydney earlier in the day. It's often said that the real estate is one of the safest investments you can make, and that's how they kind of paraphrase it like that in Australia, right? But with property prices falling for the last 2 months, some experts are saying now isn't the right time to snap up a new home. According to a recent survey finder, only 35% of property experts think now is the time to buy property. Capital Chief Economist Shane said home prices were predicted to fall across the rest of the year and in 2021 due to the ongoing weak economic conditions. And this was happening before COVID, by the way, if you've been following us on trends in the housing market. It's been way before. It's been happening way before COVID because the Australian proper just can't secure a mortgage or secure the financing to get into their own housing market. And the economy will spiral further if the outbreak continues to spread, he added. So there it is. More importantly, we are yet to see the full impact from high unemployment, which will likely worsen later this year. So I did cover this, guys, this week on my channel. Very important video here for everybody in the Commonwealth to see, because this is going to affect everybody else. Here it is right here. Here it is. Housing discussion. Where's housing? Right here. Housing disaster. Oh, there it is. There I am there with a couple Australian flags. Housing disaster right there. And guys, I also covered the Canadian mortgage debt explodes, point of no return. You want to see this one here when you get a chance. And let the evictions begin right here behind my fat head. Let me get that. There you go. Let the evictions begin. You want to see these ones because this is affecting everybody in the Commonwealth. And because now our landlords are now allowed to start evicting people now that the payments or the COVID relief fund or whatever the heck you want to call it is making its drying up across the Commonwealth. All right, let's go back here. Let's stick in Australia for a few more minutes. Australia's unit rental market has suffered the biggest price drop more than 15 years due to COVID again. The Domain report revealed the price for renting a unit plunged 3.2% to just under $450 a week in the June quarter. So that's $450 a week. Let's take out our trusty calculator here, guys. Let's get our trusty calculators out here. Let's do some live mathematics here. That's 450 times 52 divided by 12 equals $1,950 a month for rent. So it's getting better, but too many empty units. Too many empty units. I like to do this mathematical equation. It's very simple because it tells the rest of the people like living in Canada that don't pay weekly, but in Ireland they pay weekly for their rent. So it's a little bit different across the board when it comes to differentiation or differential, the differences in month. So that's 1,950 Australian per month. That's about $1,170 US, and that is 1,500 Canadian or 1,590 Canadian per month. So that's what's happening right now. This is the biggest price drop in more than 15 years in Australia. So this is from Macro Business. For the past 2 years, Sydney units have tumbled annually as tenants benefited from the heightened investor activity in previous years. Heightened investor activity. Huge money laundering in Australia. Hopefully the next administration that does get elected in Australia, I hope to God they get an administration there that doesn't stop their country from falling apart and being sold off to the highest bidders. I really hope they get somebody in there so they can stop the money laundering and all this crap that's been happening. Inner Melbourne felt the brunt of prices declines over the June quarter. Median house asking rents dropped staggering $40 to units $35 a week. Vacancies have surged. Now, this is important, guys. Vacancies has surged in Inner Melbourne, with advertised rentals lifting 64% from March to June. This has created a discounting war, forcing 1/3 Inner Melbourne landlords to slash asking rents in an attempt to secure the tenants. Now, they're doing this and they're trying to secure the tenants, and I'll tell you why. Because they're on the hook for a mortgage. Woo! A lot of people are, I'm an entrepreneur. I like to talk in a southern accent. I'm an entrepreneur, and I picked up this lucrative business here in Australia, and I'm renting it out to students. Now, the students have cut back, and with this whole COVID thing, and a lot of students aren't coming in or something's happening, and these entrepreneurs are having a really tough time making ends meet. This lucrative business. Very lucrative business. Man, I should dress like the Colonel from Kentucky Fried Chicken and wear one of those ties and talk like, Southern. And I lived in the South, by the way, so I lived in Miami Beach for many years. I did live in the South, so I know the Southern hospitality. I love spending time in Atlanta, in Georgia. I love spending time in South Carolina. I love it. Okay, so let's move on here. So we know what's happening in Australia. Australia's doomed, man. I don't know what they're going to do. Let's go over to the Kiwis there. We need to get, let's see if we can get Craig on the show. I haven't had him on the show in a bit. New Zealand property market defies gravity as Kiwis flock home? What the heck is going on here? New Zealand's housing market is defying predictions of a slump for now, at least, as thousands of citizens living abroad flock home to the COVID-free nation. Home values grinded 7.4% in June from a year earlier, only slightly down on the 7.7% annual growth. In May, government-owned property research company Quotable Value said on Wednesday the price rose 1.3% over the past, taking the average New Zealand to 738,000 New Zealand dollars. That's 696,000 Australian. 696,000 Australian dollars. So in my opinion, from what I've been researching and gathering in New Zealand, is that it's a nation of renters, and a lot of people are completely bought out of their markets, their own countries, their own way of, I guess, living, or their own way of how they do things in New Zealand. And the foreign investing, I know, is severely out of control, that they had to put in restrictions that foreign investors could not buy in Australia. Jacinta Ardern passed that law a year ago. So 2 years ago now, it's coming up to 2 years, where they banned foreign investing because the country was completely being sold out to the money. Woo! All right, let's get my man Craig on the show, find out if he could get into a property, and if he can.
Mikey.
Craig, how are things down under there in New Zealand?
Well, yeah, like you said, very much the normal. Couple of things. Your article there. I did just send you another article as well. We have about 2,000 Kiwis coming home a day at the moment.
Okay, where are they coming from? Africa? Where are they coming from? Iceland? Where are these people coming from? They're all over the world?
No, mostly, I think it'd be a lot of Indians and a lot of Chinese. They're technically Kiwis in the law, but, first generation. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of these people come to New Zealand because they can't get in anywhere else.
Okay, is it easy to migrate to New Zealand, or what's the deal?
It's probably the easiest country if you're sitting in one of these other countries, and you go down the list. You want to go to the States, Canada, Australia, and then the last country on the list is New Zealand. We have a lot of Kiwis who are coming back from Australia.
Okay. Is it why? Because it's COVID-free? Like, what the heck's going on?
No. You see, because you have to understand like that in New Zealand, because they changed the immigration and they made it easy for these other people to come here and get a passport and get, become a New Zealander. What they would do is come here and stay 2 or 3 years and then go to Australia, because that was the original destination. So the Australians kind of cottoned onto this and said, no, we're not going to have that anymore. So they changed the law. I think it was back in 2000 or 2005. So if you go to Australia, unless you're an Australian citizen, you don't get a lot of benefits.
Okay, let me ask you about this average. They're taking the average now in New Zealand at $738,000 on average New Zealand dollars for a typical entry level property for a family. Is it becoming affordable, or is it still out of whack?
Oh no. I mean, averages. Look, honestly, in Auckland, it's 800 to $1 million. But if you go down somewhere like Invercargill, which is way down the bottom of the South Island, you might get something for $350. But the problem is that the jobs really aren't there. So if you get a house in in Auckland, and then you get a house in Invercargill where it's $350 or even $400, well, what's the average? $500,000, but it's not really accurate. It's just playing with numbers.
Wow. Yeah, because I remember when they put a ban, New Zealand, almost, it's going to be 2 years now, they put the ban on foreign people cannot buy in New Zealand. Have you noticed a trickle-down effect in prices, or has it stayed the same?
No, it stayed the same, and they just work around it. And like I said, they come here and they get their immigration. And one of the big problems I think in the Commonwealth is that we have this idea that these people are like us, and they want to come and build a life and invest in the infrastructure, and so we kind of give them that benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what's becoming pretty obvious is, no, they're not like us, and they don't want to do that. They just want to park their money, and they don't really care about the country.
No, they don't. And that's the sad part of it. And I started seeing patterns when I was living in Vancouver. Like, I would go to an ice hockey game, and people won't stand for the national anthem.
Yeah, that's right. And so, our leaders in good faith, tried to help these people out and do the Christian thing. And, human nature being what it was, they took advantage of it.
Mm. Yeah, they always take advantage of that. They always take advantage.
Yeah.
How you doing? You're okay at work? How's your hand doing? I know you hurt your
hand. Oh, yeah, I'm still off work. My hand's getting better. We had some layoffs. We have 11 drivers. They've laid 4 off, and I haven't heard anything, so I guess I'm not one of them.
Good. Good. Just
God.
Don't tell anyone you're on this show.
No. I'm on what we call ACC.
Yeah.
So that's what happens is everybody, when you register your car, you have to pay for your license to use your car on the road every year.
Right.
Or a motorbike, or the employee. The boss pays that, pay a subsidy. So you can't go and sue someone here. But so when you're off work, you get 80% of your wages.
Okay.
While you're off work. So I'm doing pretty well. But a couple of other things we've got happening. The COVID subsidy. The government came out with the subsidy for businesses and all that stuff. That's due to run out soon. So that'll be interesting.
We got Blinky Bill. Hold on a second. We got Blinky Bill in the comments saying, Mike, I don't think it's going to drop in New Zealand. Talking with a market guy from real estate company, they have a massive inquiries from overseas, both New Zealand coming home and people wanting to immigrate.
Oh, of course, because we're perceived to be a clean, green, and relatively safe country, because we don't have guns. We are far from a lot of the violence that's erupting.
Hmm.
We, it's quite easy to grow food here. We could grow enough food in New Zealand. We've got 5 million. You could quite easily feed 20 million people.
Right.
Right. Yeah, with the food here, because of the, it's quite a young country, and we, like in Auckland, we have 50 active volcanoes.
Well, the problem with New Zealand was that a lot of their dairy was being exported to China, and the people locally, they were charging them through the nose for the dairy.
Well, of course, because you're a farmer, and hang on, I can get $50 for this piece of meat. So I'll send the best overseas, and you guys can have the leftovers.
Yep,
So
that's what's been
doing that
happening. Yeah, it's been happening a
for
lot
a
in New Zealand.
long time.
Yeah.
But that market's collapsed a bit, because I've noticed meat has come down in price. I go to the supermarket now and get 3 or 4 steaks for about $15.
What? 50 New Zealand dollars?
Yeah.
Well, I'm coming, dude, that's like $10 Canadian. I'm coming to have barbecue with you and eat steak all week, man.
I'll send you some pics. But I did send you an interesting article on your Skype, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
There are some economists who are calling it out, but I do agree with Blinky Bill, and it's always been the double-edged sword of New Zealand. Like the good part of that is we can get the economy going, and because we're small, we can just open up the borders.
Right.
Right, and of course the downside is, well, everyone gets bought out. Now, I noticed there's been a big call in the farming sector because of COVID, they can't get their workers in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like farm hands and things like that. So there's a bit of a call like, hey guys, you should come and work on the farm. So that's a good, that's a bit of a good spin-off from it.
Good.
But
Well, some good news out of that.
And petrol is still relatively cheap for New Zealand, but the Americans listening, I'll just give you an idea. That's about $2 a litre, and I think 1 litre is 4.3 gallons.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, 1 gallon is about 4.3 litres, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And now last year it was getting up to 240.
I remember when gas in New Zealand went up to the 230 mark. I still remember that. A liter.
Yeah. So that's a good sign off, but we're still struggling with the what do you call it? The tourism is still decimated, and
it's decimated. Hopefully they can salvage it because you guys are going to be going into spring in about 3 months there.
Yeah, we've got a bit of sun today, but it's been pretty cold and wet, and we still have a water shortage, which is just laughable.
Mm-hmm.
How do you have a water shortage in a city that rains just about every day? And I know
200 days of the year.
Motorbike. I used to ride a motorbike, and I gave it up because I got sick of the rain.
Okay.
We've got a water shortage. How does that work? I don't know.
Okay, Craig, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to go on with more stories here. And I appreciate you coming on the show and giving us a little spotlight on what's happening down under there in New Zealand.
Yeah, no problem. And we, like I was saying to you, we got your back, Mike. We keep an eye on these idiots.
Yeah, thanks for taking screenshots of that and harassers and stuff. These people have no time. These people are just dedicated to just being like trolls. They have no life.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, there was one more thing. Now, I put it in the comments, and you might want to look into this. I did see a video, I think it came across my feed. I believe in China now, they're starting to put withdrawals on how much people can take out of the bank.
Yes, we've been discussing that on the channel with the capital flows, and it looks like they're going to allow like $200 a week or something, or $200 a day, and that's it.
Yeah, so I saw that, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. Maybe a bit of a canary in the coal mine there. So
we'll be talking about that on Mike in the Night for sure.
Great. Well, I'll leave it to it. I'll keep watching.
God bless you.
Thanks for the call, Mike. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. That is Craig from down under in New Zealand. He's sending me a few screenshots here of a couple of trolls that have absolutely, like, I don't know, like, if these guys need to get to a bar or something or get something, like, or if they're just stir crazy at home and they want to just just bash people. They bash me a lot. I don't mind people bashing me. I don't care. It's just when they start bashing people that call into my show, people that, like people, some guy earlier called one of my callers a liar. I'm like, yeah, you're allowed to say what you want, but don't come in here and call my caller. I know my caller. I know him personally. I'm one of the very few accessible YouTubers that you could go see in person. Everyone knows where my store is. They could come and see me. I had 3 people visit me today that watched the channel. Okay? David Xavier has got the right point. He's got a point here. Argentina 2.0. No, it's got to be Argentina 1.0 in Canada because we still haven't properly defaulted. Argentina's defaulted 2 times in the last decade. And everybody runs to Brazil to buy gold. And then now they're catching people buying gold in Brazil and arresting them. They're going to Portuguese America to buy gold. Then they try to go back to Argentina, and they're like, they're hiding gold in their cars when they go to Brazil, so they don't get caught by the border patrol in Argentina. All right. So we got Martin in the comments from Saudi Arabia. All right, so that's what's happening in New Zealand. So, buddy, somebody commented earlier, who cares about New Zealand, Canada, this and that? Guys, this is a pattern that's happening across the Commonwealth. Australia, New Zealand, the United Kingdom, Canada, and Western United States, and parts of New York and Massachusetts are suffering with this crisis. Affordability, housing affordability issues. And then they turn around and lower rates on us. So when they lower interest rates, our money becomes less attractive. And not only that, we have an attractive dollar for exports. The Canadian government makes it almost impossible for Canadian people like myself that has an online business to ship to the United States. I could make a killing shipping to the United States. I try to ship something to Lord Humongous. What a nightmare. So I'm going to have to put another package together, a board game, a model car, a couple of things from my store, another mug I have here, and give them and send them what I need to. And I have to declare it because they'll just confiscate everything. And it's a nightmare. It's an absolute disaster to ship to the United States. All right. We got to get over to this one here. This is a big story for tonight, guys, especially if you are... let's get over to article scan here. Let's adjust this here. So this is a big deal coming out of Toronto. I know I got a lot of people watching from the East Coast right now. I know it's like, what, midnight there? 11 p.m. there? Toronto house prices up nearly 12% despite pandemic. And that's why I bought a pile of airline stock when it went down to nothing. I bought a bunch of Air Canada, Air Transat, American Airlines, because I have a feeling that things... I think it's going to be the next administration that comes in that's going to make that difference. I think that's going to actually come up. I think the next administration is going to show all the faults of the previous administration and what they did wrong. I think that's maybe a way they're going to get away with actually explaining away what happened now, in the next administration. I'm not too sure what to make of it because I'm not a politician, nor will I ever be. I'm trying to get this green screen here to stop fading in and out. It's been an absolute challenge to get that done here, but hopefully I could get something going here. Get this green screen working properly. So it doesn't look like a total poop show here on trends in the housing market. Yeah, so I got a new trends in the housing market jingle. It is a reggae song that was sent to us. The trends in the housing market reggae song that was sent to us from a viewer from Kingston, Jamaica. Okay, so we're not getting anywhere here with the green screen. All right. So let's screw that. All right. Okay, guys. Toronto housing prices nearly up 12% despite pandemic. So what does that tell you? What is that telling you? Why do you think during the pandemic they made construction work mandatory or essential? Construction work essential when 90% of Canadians can't even buy a house in their own country. Why would they make construction essential? and not shut down any construction and not close any flights in from China. Something's going on here. Gee Willikers, mister. I should get a Gee Willikers Mr. soundboard. Greater Toronto area home sales are rebounding from the COVID pandemic and prices are on the rise, but completed transactions are still short of where they were last year. That area's real estate board reported Tuesday. The Toronto Regional Real Estate Board said Tuesday that the number of homes sold in the region in June was just shy of the mark set a year ago. Wow. As the average selling price rose nearly 12% compared to June 2019. We are still in the early days of recovery, but barring any setbacks, we should continue to see stronger market conditions in the second half of 2020. So there it is there, guys. I just want to... Sorry, guys, I'm yawning. It's been a really long day, and I was on another live stream earlier. I'll give you guys a plug for that, where I was earlier. I was completely going off topic on there, but I needed to get some points across, some very, very important points across that needed to be addressed, I guess. I felt I needed to go off topic, I guess, and but it happens. It happens to the best of us, guys, especially when you're trying really hard to, get something off the ground and get people tuned in or create a true reality of the sense of the matter that we're in right now. That's pretty The pent-up demand arguably increased further over the past 3 months. So there it is. There's a pent-up demand. So there it is. Mike Banks, we just covered the article right here. We need to get Ashima. I'm not sure if Ashima's available to come on. I'm not sure if she's on last time I talked to her, she was on an airplane, a Barbra Streisand's airplane. So let's see if we could get Ashima on. She was on a private plane last time I spoke to her. Let's see if she picks up the phone. Oh, it's ringing.
Hey, Mike.
Yo, Ashima, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay, we got you on the phone. Okay, property taxes, we discussed earlier. We had Owen on the show from the city of Brampton, which is about 40 kilometers northwest of the city of Toronto, where he got a bill saying that his property taxes went up $300 per month. What do you think of that?
That's correct. It's absolutely right. My friends just had an increase in property taxes. I don't know how much their house is worth, so I cannot comment on it, but I know that they're paying $1,000
a month.
Yeah, per month.
Because people down in Sarasota, Florida, are paying $1,000 a year for property tax, and if
they
they're watching this
are doing a lot of the husbands doing two jobs. It's so difficult. Everybody's having problem, Mike.
$1,000 a month for property tax.
And now it's a mafia. It's an absolute mafia. You know it. I know it. Reb, the bank, the realtors.
Mm-hmm.
It's an absolute mafia. And I just saw house price last month. It was 909. Today I saw it again, 969. A new builder house.
Oh my God.
This place is going crazy. They gone nuts.
But Ashima, can you maybe re-educate me on the income levels there? Because last time I read, for the GTA, Greater Toronto Area, the average person needed to save for 21 years to afford to put a down payment down.
I don't know.
Is that true, or are people making a ton of cash there?
No, everybody's so tight. This is a profession, Mike, in Canada. They just buy a house, sell it to they just sell it to a newcomer. Everybody's investing. Everybody's an investor over here. You don't know. This is how it works. This is the economy. I heard someone today, they were saying that, it's not good that all the money of the banks, first of all, the interest rates are going to go up, Mike.
Okay. Well, interest rates, they have to go up.
Yeah, they can't control the yield curve anymore. Because, you see, eventually, that's the only way out. They just can't control the yield curve anymore. And because the inflation is going up like crazy, all right, Mike, everybody tells me, Trev says that, or everybody saying the housing is going mad. There's a absolute pent-up demand. Agreed. There is one. The house prices are going up, which means inflation is going up. They are going to they are bringing up the interest rates. They'll have to. The banks are making losses in the books.
Well, the banks are going to taking a big hit, and a lot of banks haven't been a lot of banks haven't been leveraging anything in their coffers right now, so their vaults are pretty empty. Everything's fractionally lent out, and they get a piece of gold, and they sell that same piece of gold on paper to 300 people.
So, excuse me. So interest rates, anything less than 4% and anything more than 6 or 7% are very bad. So the interest rates ideally in an ideal economy should be between 4 to 7%.
Oh, and anywhere in a healthy economy, if they left these damn economies on autopilot and stopped with these first-time home buyer loans and all this Mickey Mouse and created all this Mickey Mouse FOMO. Ashima, do you remember those real estate agents before COVID that kept saying, if you don't buy now, you'll never own anything?
And they're still saying that. They're still saying that.
The Canadian proper, okay? And when I say Canadian proper, guys, please, if you're new to the channel, it means everyone that's come from all over the world to make Canada a better place. I'm from Portugal. We got callers on here from all over the world that want to see Canada do well. So when I say Canadian proper, I'm Canadian proper. Ashima's Canadian proper. The Raven's Canadian proper in the comments. Lord Humongous is an American. You know what I'm saying, right? So I'm just afraid that if people can't buy, what if these real estate agents are right? What if people could never own their own property in their own country? Then what happens, Ashima?
Mike, we have to understand they're never going to let the market fall. Because all these houses we are renting this house from the bank. It's as simple as that.
Exactly.
All these houses which we own, till we don't pay them down, are being rented from the bank, and the banks own it.
Can I add something to that too?
Go ahead.
You forgot to add the municipality where you're paying your property taxes to every month. You're renting it from the city.
Absolutely. So the Canadian economy is highly leveraged. Today, did you hear Pierre Poilievre questioning Bill Morneau? The video has just come out. And Morneau had said that to expect the unemployment to really rise, and he wanted to take a snapshot of the economy. So he challenged him. What do you mean by saying a snapshot of the economy?
I read that today.
So I don't understand. No, the video. Watch the video. It's so interesting. It is so interesting, Mike. Eventually, such high leverage. The Finch have downgraded Canada, right? The Finch ratings, like the S&P ratings, and like the AAA, the BBB, the Finch has really downgraded Canada, and the debt is so much of debt, household debt.
Well, household debt to income ratio, I think it's the highest right now in Australia. Australia is number one. So for every dollar every Australian makes, they owe about $2.08. Canada, I think, is close behind with $1.86 or something for every dollar they make. So the household income ratio is the highest in Australia, and then followed by, I think, Canada, or I think New Zealand, then Canada.
Debt to GDP, yes, absolutely. And Canada has really become bad. You remember you did that video on how Canada has taken place of these, gone up the debt ladder in the indebted countries in the world. So, but the thing is, Mike, we have to understand, housing is a highly leveraged commodity. And if a country is only all the banks are doing is just lending out money, which is written from the Federal Reserve, given on their books, created digitally, which is another fraud, and is being given out to all of us as a mortgage, this money is not going into any productive work.
No.
Yeah, so we just leveraging. Let them, they'll face the consequences. But Mike, as you said, as a Canadian local, this is what we can do. This is what we can tell the government. But it is not rocket science. They should understand it. But it's a mafia.
It's a
Right?
big
They
market.
don't want to understand.
Ashima. I get a lot of comments in the, even today, right now, I'm getting these comments. Buy land and build cheap. Ashima, can you tell? I brought this up before, and I had somebody come on the show that's building their home, and they bought the land for a couple of $100,000, and they can't get a quote less than $600,000 to build that home.
Correct. I did that. I went out to a builder near my home. I bought a land. The land is coming for $400. It's around 50 by 150, the land size. And I'm getting a builder who's giving me a quotation of $600. So that
600,000.
makes it a
Now,
million.
Ashima,
600,
I
600K.
don't know if you remember this, but I made a few phone calls to New Mexico, Arizona, parts of Texas to build the same home, same square
Half the
footage,
price.
but they build it a little bit differently. They usually use poured concrete and rebarb to build some of the structures out of cement and like more stronger. And I was getting quotes for the same square footage for about 95 to 120,000 to build that home.
And I'm making a video. So, Mike, what is happening here? I don't know. I have, and here, Mike, I'm telling you, I don't want to name. I'll call you and I'll tell you, I've been going to a builder and I've been booking a house for myself just to get a contract, Mike. I have to beg them to just get a contract. And they're so to the point. I agree they want to sell the houses, but I'm paying for this house. I'm not asking anything for free. I'm not, they make you beg. This whole economy is like on begging, I mean,
We got a good one here. Where did it go? It's moving fast. Okay, watch this one. Imagine what house prices would be if they were based on income without a 30-year mortgage. So let's say we do a 15-year amortization locked in, like they did back in the day. And you're looking, the average home with the average income of the Canadian right now with disposable income to make sure they could eat, you're looking at about 290 to 400,000 for a home.
That's how it should be, Mike. That's how it is anywhere in the world.
That's Canadian dollars. And in the United States, with the average income, the average home should be around 204 to about 308,000 in the United States.
So that's what
and most homes are that price in the United States. Most homes are.
Absolutely, and that's what they do here, right? They follow the US Fed. They follow everything US. Okay, the latest. Do you know Trudeau declined to go for the new NAFTA?
Well, he has to decline because there's a new clause in the new NAFTA that allows other countries to come in and shut down their government if they find fraud, if the country's committing fraud.
Yes. So like that's that, the NAFTA. I know this clause you'd spoken about it earlier as well. Mm-hmm. But he's one of the most fraudulent prime ministers we've had. One of the most fraudulent.
Oh, it's so fraudulent. It's like they're smacking us in the face. This makes the Watergate scandal back from Richard Milhouse Nixon's administration look like a walk in the park.
Yes, it does. Mike, there's so much of corruption. Everything is on dirty commissions.
Oh, it's all Mickey Mouse. They're selling their own people out, Ashima. That's what keeps me up at night is how we could blatantly sell each other out and go home and actually have a good night's sleep and wake up in the morning and think you're doing good for humanity. That's what keeps me up at night.
Mike, you just go and see what the builders are building. Ask Steve, he would know. He does a lot of inspections. He would know. They're sticking these matchbox houses next to each other. I know it's really sad.
I call them cookie cutter homes because they all look the same.
Yeah. And then they say that you cannot have the three homes the same design in one row. And then they, like a house in Beamsville is selling for $860. Beamsville. It's 2.5 to 3 hours drive to Toronto, subject to traffic conditions.
3-hour drive from so this is not the secondary, this is not the Tri-Cities, this is like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know, they just want the market to keep on going up and, they have this nexus, they plan things, they just scheme and plan. Oof, it's so bad, Mike. I don't know, this is not a Canada I've known people to be coming into. No, this is not it.
The problem is, Ashima, is the Canadians that built this infrastructure, right? From all over the world, okay? They're losing. We're losing the fight.
That's what they say, we build a city on rock and roll. We want to have fun, we're good human beings, and they really corrupted it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Mike, it's going to end. It'll have to end. What can we do now? If I have to live, I have to live in my own house. I have to go that route.
Mm-hmm.
I have to take a wrong decision. I know this is not the right decision. I know the probability that I am going for a risk is very high. But Mike, I can't keep on moving homes, living on rent. What to do?
Mm-hmm.
And I have the money. I've worked hard throughout my life. All I need is a peaceful life.
I know. You just want the Canadian dream, the dream that we used to live, the dream that we had 20 years ago.
This
All
is
you had to
everyone.
do, Ashima, 20 years ago in Canada was just get a job. That's all you needed.
And this is everywhere in the world. A nice house, a good job, and this is a basic necessity of life. And a good job gives us motivation, Mike. So we all must be employed. They should be There should be things in abundance for everyone.
Mr. Al 444 in the comments is saying have to find an unincorporated township, but then you're in the middle of nowhere.
Mike, it's very easy. All we have to do is, have a cooperative housing society. If they give us the authority, they will never pass our plans. Try making a cooperative,
Oh,
and
they
you
don't
can
want
have
to do that.
people
God
buy
forbid.
land. Yeah, you can buy land. It will take you time to pass your plans. They will never pass your sewerage, and they will never do it. They're
Yeah,
so
they create a lot of red tape and make it hard for the average person just to start a life, eh?
And Mike, do you know builders? Who are they? It's their mafia. You know the builders, right?
Yeah, that's an organized mafia.
No, mostly the builders are mostly from what I don't want to say that and sound sound racist, but you know where they are from, right?
Well,
Most of the builders.
I mean, here where I am, they're all Canadian here in my town. I know in
Absolutely, absolutely. That's why I don't want to name it, but the origins are from where nearby you originate.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it.
Yeah, I know. There's too much crookedness going on behind the scenes.
The mafia.
It's
right?
like I would
They're
actually.
all brothers. They're related.
I didn't make a video. I should have made a video about this. I actually tried to contract a crew of 6 guys from New Mexico. Okay, from New Mexico, from Las Cruces, New Mexico, to come up to Canada to build a house for my friend for $150,000, right?
Like, these builders are not the builders who build the houses. These builders subcontract.
Yeah.
I'm talking of these builders. The ones I am talking of, they're in the country now. I don't know what to say now. How do I give you a hint?
Mm-hmm. I understand. I understand, Ashima. You don't want to be politically incorrect nowadays because you don't want to be labeled as a racist. And nowadays,
you want a very big shipping line also. One of the biggest shipping lines, and they don't know the source of the funds for that shipping line.
Of course they don't know, because the RCMP shut down all that money laundering stuff.
Right? And that starts with an I. Now, I don't want to say that. You know it. And
mm-hmm.
they're just they're all cousins. They're all related to each other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they're not the builders. They're the mafia. And they hire builders, Mike. And they don't pay them. Right? They actually hire people who build our houses.
But Ashima, when you got to work 23 years to afford to put a down payment down, for the average to high wage earner to work 23 years, it's like telling your son, you are now 20, you're entering the workforce. By the time you're 43 years old, you could afford to put that down payment on a house.
And that's why we'll see the crimes and the people who are not employed and not able to afford this disparity. That's how our socialism and communism, we're a socialist communist democracy, Mike. I don't know about the democracy, but definitely Canada is getting very socialist and communist.
Oh yeah, we're heading towards Marxism, Leninism, whatever you want to call it, right? So
yeah, so they say that this is the capitalism that we are in is just about to end, and we're just about to get into being a socialist and a communist country. Yeah, that's the solution I think they're looking for.
Okay, Mr. Al 444 in the comments saying they're going to force everyone out of their country eventually. Then you have no choice. If we don't put a stop to this, we're all going to end up as slaves. Your entire income goes to tax and housing. So, Ashima, where do Canadians go if they got it? Like, for you, I'm pretty sure you'll go back to India or, Middle East, wherever you're comfortable. If something happens here, I'll go back to Portugal. A couple of my friends will go back to Italy. A couple of other friends will go to Greece. Some other friends will go to Russia. What happens for people that have no other way out of this country?
These guys don't think like that, Mike. They don't really think like that. They just think short-term monetary. That's it.
No,
I wish they had a long-term. They don't have any vision. I don't know. They say that, you have to have, if you see, the gentleman in the parliament was asking them, where is the government spending money? What are the plans? They have no plan, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
They have no plan for the country. They don't want to have a 10-year vision or a 20-year vision or a some-year plan.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. They're just moving on like a headless chicken.
Yeah. But I don't know how these people I don't know how these people could sleep at night knowing that, maybe they believe that they actually, honestly, wholeheartedly believe in themselves that they're doing the right thing.
I don't know, Mike. I really wonder what these guys. I don't think they know they're bad, Mike. You know it.
Mm-hmm.
You know the scandals they've been happening. They know they're wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
How they manage that scandal, you know it. The Butts, what is his name? The Butts, whatever, is back.
Mm-hmm.
So who cares? They don't care, Mike. Who cares?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nobody cares. All they're bothered with is the banks getting their money back. Now, which they're not, because the interest rates have gone down. So they're the ones who are losing money. You'll see now the results are going to start coming out.
Yeah, we're going to see what happens with that. If they start raising interest rates, it's going to be very, very, very interesting. Okay, Shima, I'm going to let you go. It's almost 20 minutes here. I got to get to some Seattle housing and a couple other things.
Okay.
We'll talk soon. You stay out of jail, and we'll talk soon, okay?
All right. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. That is Ashima that comes on the show regularly to give us an update in what is happening. So she did confirm that she does know people that are paying $1,000 a month for property tax. My mom in Brampton was on her way she was on the way to $1,000 a month easy, the way it was headed. And so I'm looking at the comments here. Mike Banks says, you Americans get to carry full autos through the stress. We can't even use a pistola in Canada to defend ourselves during armed home invasions. Yes. In Canada, you got to be super careful that the person breaking into your home doesn't get hurt, because you will be doing time in you would be in a prison. You'd be doing time in a prison for that. Good. We're getting more people watching. We got 122 people currently viewing on the channel. Thank you for tuning in, guys. We got a really rough start again. We got disconnected from the original stream, and then we got reconnected and disconnected. They've been giving us a hard time here to get this show off the ground. I don't know what we're talking about that's such a big deal. And if what we're talking about isn't correct, why don't they just let us speak our minds, right? So let's go over to Article Scan. Let's do a quick channel plug, guys. If you don't mind, check it out. I did a really good video today. Permanent change is coming. You want to watch this video today? I did a couple of videos today. Housing disaster in Australia, shuttering fast food, casual restaurants shutting down. That's going to make mortgage and housing payments a lot tougher to make to basically cover your cost of living, right? What else? Mike in the Night last week, American Dream, really good show. We had Lord Humongous on in the beginning showing us a bit of firecrackers. We played a lot of phone tag at the beginning of the show, but we ended up getting some good callers in over time. Yeah, check it out. Lots of stuff here on the channel. Guys, if you want to buy a mug on Teespring or something, we got a Supreme Cannon mug here. We got a lot of tights from Mike in the Night and t-shirts. If you want to support the transmission, go ahead. And guys, I'm going to give you guys my Facebook if you guys want. And if you guys want to send me messages there. Guys, I got a message today from a friend from Kingston, Jamaica, who made a Trends in the Housing Market intro for me. From Kingston, Jamaica. He's a big fan, and he just told me right here, Mike, you have no idea. A lot of people watch your show on the housing discussion here in Jamaica. I went to a restaurant in the grill, and somebody was watching you in the background on their phone. So, yeah, I'm getting out to the Commonwealth, and here it is. Let's play a little clip here. Let's see if we can get some audio here. The trends in the housing market intro. I'm going to find a way to download this. Every family could make it out and we could stand strong. And that's affordable living, right? Trends in the house market. Oh, I love it. Thanks for the great intro. I'm going to find a way to download it from my Facebook Messenger. It's not giving me the option. And guys, I'm going to give you guys my Instagram if you guys want to come on Instagram and send me some show tips here. And I was earlier on a stream here. I think you can see my fat head here. It's not up yet. It's probably under videos. I was on a stream here today on this channel here. Nephilim Film Presents The Myth is Canada. So if you're from Canada, you might want to watch this. You might want to check this channel out if you're from Canada, where they organize protests and all kinds of stuff. There is a link there. If you guys want to be part of that, go ahead and do that. Okay, guys, you're tuned into Trends in the Housing Market, where we could talk about housing affordability levels and housing rip-offs and housing, what do you call those guys? Shysters in the markets that are destroying people's futures and lives. And nobody understands how destructive this is to family. Families are being destroyed. People are being held back from getting married. People are getting held back from having a family. Once I left the city and bought this house I'm in now, I finally had 2 more kids. I couldn't do that in the city. I couldn't fathom that. I could probably do it in the city, but the stress to drive 3 blocks in your car, 4 city blocks in the car, and almost get into 40 accidents because everybody is blind and and they're all in it for themselves. They don't look at other drivers. And then we could talk about the junkies and people pushing shopping carts around. I mean, it doesn't end, man. It doesn't end. You know? Chris Velke is saying, Mike, you are famous in Africa. Only in Portuguese Africa. My documentaries that I made on my Portuguese YouTube have been shown in universities across Angola and Mozambique, and people have been debating the discussion that I've brought up. I get people messaging me all the time from there. People that work. Yeah. All right. The Liar from Shire says, we are being displaced in our own countries. We are. But the United States is very lucky because they have a lot of room for movement. Where in Canada, you got 4 major cities. Australia, you got 3-4 major cities. And New Zealand, you got 3-4 major cities. And the UK, you got 3-4 major cities. And you're screwed if you can't make it into one of those big cities, right? Yeah, Matthew's saying buying a house gives you kids. Well, it gives you the room, right? All right, guys, let's go here real quick. So we got that. Let's go over some better dwelling articles. Bank of Canada business optimism falls to Great Recession levels. There it is, guys. Vancouver real estate sales are back, but prices still falling from peak. Let's look at a graph here. Do they have a graph for us on Better Dwelling? Better Dwelling is amazing. Here it is. Sales, typical home across Greater Vancouver, benchmark dollars. Prices are down 7.16%, an even bigger drop from the month before. So there it is. There's the 12-month change. This is the annual percentage of typical home across Vancouver. This is the benchmark price change. So it is upticking a bit. There it is in July 2019, and it's starting to see some sort of a recovery. Greater Vancouver real estate sales are nearly at last year's levels, again with Toronto. So there it is there. And then you got, June 2020 sales and June 2020 listings. So this is the oversupply we've been talking about on the channel for a long time. There's an oversupply on the market, which means that more people want to get out of the market before they could get back. You know, more people want out than in. Okay, let's see what else they got going on here. Toronto real estate prices slide from peak high as growth rapidly cools. Canadian consumer credit is contracting for the first time since 1980 AD. So this is kind of important, guys. We did cover this on the show because the contraction is letting you know that people are just either tapped out, they don't qualify, or they just can't secure the financing they need to buy the house. Seattle housing market in June sees shortage of homes, multiple offers. Okay, guys, this is from 4.5 hours ago. Again, Seattle, a lot of foreign investing went in there. Huge foreign investing, apparently, from what I was getting. I was talking to somebody from a Seattle King County news channel that's very fond of my channel, and he's been reporting for King County, I'm not going to tell you the channel, news for about 14 years now, and he says you're darn right. You are so right about what's been happening with the empty units and the foreign investing and the corporations buying up multiple units and having it under a corporation number. And he told me that you are spot on with Seattle. It's not the techies or the technical industry, the tech industry that's doing it. It's actually a lot of money being parked into Seattle. So June is seeing shortages of homes, multiple offers. That's... You know, I remember when the average house price in Seattle before Vancouver put the foreign buyer's tax on was in and around $310,000 to $455,000. Now it's sitting around $690,000 to $800,000 US, and Seattle was one of the biggest contributors to the market spike in 2017 and 2018. Home sales are strongest in Texas, Arizona, and other COVID hotspots. Taylor Morrison, CEO, says they're up right now because you could still buy a decent home in Texas for $240,000 with a pool and land. And right now, a lot of people from California, Oregon, and Washington State are moving eastbound to Texas to start a life, right? I don't know what the hell these guys want. And we're back to the channel here. All right, guys. Let's see if we have time for one more caller to call in and give us an update on what they're thinking of this housing market or where things are going in this housing market. I'd like to know. Guys, do not forget to set your reminders for trends in the housing market, please, this Saturday. Please don't forget. I want to get a good show on this Saturday and get as many callers as possible. Maybe have an open mic. We're going to start initiating or trying to get people to initiate or get them to force them to call in. Guys, if you are in the comments, you need to be part of the show. If you need to call into the show. If you're in the comments here, please call into the show. Jay Borg says, I just got the Mike in the Night mug in the mail. Lonely Night guest. Is it good? Does it look good, Jay Borg? Does it look okay? I hope it's okay, Jay, the mug, because I got a mug in. It didn't look too good. I got the Future Sight mug here, the Mike in the Night Future Sight mug here. Let me put this on full screen so you guys. That's the Mike in the Night Future Sight. There it is. There, Mike in the Night. And that's the Future Sight mug that we have there for sale, and it's really nice. It's really nice. Oh, I got Lord Humongous Batcoin here for him. I got a Batcoin I'm sending to Lord Humongous. So I have it here. I'm gonna have to put a package together for him in the next week or two, and ship that out to him when I get the chance. Call in instructions. I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, Mike's right. All got something to add. Everybody needs to come on here at least one time. I think we had Lynn on the show. Mike Banks doesn't want to come on. I've asked him. I've even bribed him to come on the show. He doesn't want to come on. Matthew Elo, we need you on the show. Jay Borg. Jay Borg saying, nice mug. You changed the colors too. Yeah, you could change the colors if you'd like. You need a Mike in the Night Down Under mug. Yeah, the voice of the Commonwealth. A lot of people in Australia. I got a gentleman. I can't say who he is, but he works for a pretty big firm. A big firm. I'm talking about someone big time in Australia. And they were walking by their desk. And this person was watching trends in the housing market. They were watching, and this is in Australia, they're watching trends in the housing market. And he took a screenshot of the back of the guy's head and with me on the screen. He's like, look, you're a lot popular than you think, Mike. I'm not coming here to be popular. I couldn't give a rat's. I want to raise my family, have my kids. I don't care, but I just want to make sure that the message is going out there, because affordability, without getting the middle class in the housing market, we won't have an economy, period. That's just it. And I think it was, the liar from the Shire, I think, was the one that commented that many times. Without the middle class getting into, or the working poor getting into the housing market, we don't have an economy. There's no functional economy. And that is a big deal. Okay, Afzal Khan, you're going to have to call into the show too. Add me on Skype. Mike Martins 1980 is saying in the comments, our private debt to GDP is 263%. Can you imagine, Mike, our next generation are going to have an extreme tough time? Oh, they are. What? Oh, look, we got Stephen Williams on the show. Yo, what's up, Stephen Williams? I wonder if he's awake, man. I like this guy very much. Check out his channel, Stephen Williams Show. Mike Banks says he keeps saying he talks to me. No, Mike. Hey, Mike, do you lie to me to your guests? No, Mike, I'm saying I talk to you like I talk to you in the comments. I'm not lying to you. I'm saying I talk to you in the comments. Me and you correspond in the comments many times. He has never once spoken to me. He keeps saying he talks to me. Mike, call in. He has never once spoken to me. Mike's hair is like Pinocchio's nose. I know, it's cute, eh? Is that what you want me... The guy has never once talked to me, says Mike Banks. Dude, I'm talking about like this. I'm talking to you right now, Mike Banks. I'm talking to Mike Banks right now. So I am talking to you. Not on... Oh, I don't have to talk to you on Skype. I'm talking to you right now. All right. Mike's saying he's tried to call... The guy won't give me the time of day. What are you talking about? I have no idea what he's talking about. Calm down, Mike. Calm down. The liar from the Shire says 90% of us will be renters if nothing changes. Yep. That's 100% correct. We're all going to be renters. Just like. New Zealand is a nation of renters. Okay, let's see who we can get to call in. I think I have Mike Banks here. Hold on, Mike. I think I have him on my Skype. No, I don't have Mike Banks here. Yo, it's Banks. Hold on. Should I come on? Hold on. This is him here. It's Mike Banks. I'm calling him right now. Pick up your phone. Mike Banks is not online. It's Big Papa 420 is not online. Okay, so I tried calling him. He's here. It says no answer. And that's it. So I have him here. I did try to call him, so nobody freak out. There's somebody messaging me. Okay, I want to thank TLS, who's watching us on their lunch break in Australia, or late lunch in Australia. Watching you from Sydney right now, Mike. Love your work. Keep up the good, honest conversation. Please don't quit YouTube. We got so Mike is saying, if I get treated like, what are you treating like what, man? That's the only reason he wants me on. No, I've been wanting Mike Banks to call in for a long time. Mike, me and Linny Poo are going to go back. Full lockdown in Melbourne, Victoria, says Diana Y. The whole internet needs to die for crypto to die. Then we got lots of people in the comments tonight, man. Trends in the housing market, it's trending, eh? We got Blunt News in the house. We had Blunt News on the channel. And then we got Nat Pacheco in the house. Canada wants Hong Kong, but TikTok will collapse. The globalists will ban Bitcoin. That's no brainer. That's true. Once they try to deregulate it or regulate it. Okay, no. All they have to do is just regulate Bitcoin. Once they regulate it like they did student loans, you know what happens, right? I don't have to say anything anymore. Mandatory masks in Ottawa, 44 degrees Celsius yesterday. Oh, man. So Mike Banks is very upset. Mike, calm down, dude. Relax. I'm your homie essay. Diana is saying, did you see the article I sent you? Was it on? I think I did actually see that article. I think we're gonna see that. I think we're gonna talk about that. Was it the housing one, or was it the one for Mike in the Night? Okay, here we go. We got Mitch Madden. Let me get Mitch on here from Oregon here. He's in my favorites. Let's call Mitch Madden. Mitch, pick up the damn phone. Hello?
Hey, Mike?
I've been trying to reach you. A lot tougher to get than the president.
Oh, shoot. We have another problem here, huh?
So how you doing? Everything okay? Mitch,
Hey, Mike?
Yeah, you there, buddy?
Yeah, but I've got an override. I've got you on there twice, just like last time.
Oh.
Let me kill it and call you, Mike.
Okay, hurry up. That's Mitch Madden from Oregon. And he is going to call us back right now. He brought up a really good comment. He brought up a really good comment here about, was it inflation? What did he bring up? Where'd it go? The comments are moving too fast. There's actually people watching this damn thing. All right, let's see if he calls back. Your channel is improving right now. We got very easy to ban Bitcoin. Oh, it's not. Yeah, it's not that hard. I mean, it's gonna have to go underground, guys. I don't own any Bitcoin. I had a few. I sold them. I don't have any Bitcoin. I never jumped on the Bitcoin snake, multiple snake head, whatever they call it. Oh yeah, Mitch Madden. You know what? He brought up that that website for us. Yeah, Mitch Madden has brought a website. What's it called? This Old House? Old Home Dreams. Yeah, Old Home Dreams. I think that's the website. Yeah. Okay, guys. Everybody in the Commonwealth. Mitch, you're back.
You there, Mike?
Yeah, I'm here, man. Are you there?
Well, I finally figured out what I've been doing wrong. The last time you called and this time, I was trying to watch your show on the same darn laptop as we were talking on. So there was we had the same show going twice at different times.
No problem, Butch. Okay, Mitch, you know what? I thought of you, and I remembered the website that you recommended. It's called oldhousedreams.com. I'm going to put the link in the comments. I could bring this up every show. It's fantastic. I just want people, like, in the Commonwealth to kind of cry when they see this. 7 bathrooms. Here it is, guys, from Article Scan. 7 bathrooms. Let me adjust this here. This is a beautiful home here. 7 bathrooms, 3 beds. Built in 1929, so you know the structure. It's got high ceilings in it. Look at that, folks. Wow. When I say high ceilings, look at that. The Victorian crown moldings, of course it needs a paint job. But in Canada, to paint this house in Canada, 400 grand. Oh, 400 grand to paint a house. But yeah, look at that, 300,000. Look at that. Oh, wow. It's got a servant's kitchen. And it's got wow. I don't even know what half these rooms are called because it's a very Victorian-style home. Mitch, what's up, buddy?
Not much, Mike. I've been taking care of a tiny estate. A friend of mine passed away the other day from an aneurysm. And I've been trying to take care of it. He didn't leave a will. And it's not easy to take care of an estate where, that's pretty much, the guy was pretty much an indigent, but he wanted me to handle it. So I've been kind of busy. I usually walk for 2 to 3 hours every day, and I've been kind of only doing it half-assed. But anyway, as far as real estate goes, in my area, in the Coos Bay, Oregon area, I would say that everything is holding up pretty darn well so far.
I did read the article earlier in the show. I don't know if you caught it, but the what's happening in Seattle, there are a lot of multiple offers on homes, a lot of foreign investing happening there.
Yeah, it's kind of counterintuitive what's going on in a lot of areas in real estate. I'm not talking about commercial real estate. The writing's on the wall there. But as far as residential, there's still some decent markets, although the San Francisco area rents are dropping depending on which of the 11 districts in San Francisco, the county and city of San Francisco. I think their rents have dropped as much as 15% in some of the locations in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. And that's it. People are moving out of San Francisco. They're breaking their leases. I think about 12 or 13% of renters in San Francisco have already broken their leases. They're just not paying. They're leaving.
Well, I got some inside U-Haul information sent to me from not U-Haul, but one of those busy, I'm not going to mention the name, one of those busy, let's say, shipping companies and rental companies. Did you know do you want to know what state they're going from San Francisco, where they're going?
From San Francisco?
Take a guess.
I would say Arizona.
New Mexico.
New Mexico. That wouldn't be my first choice, but
I don't know why, but a lot of destinations are being dropped off in New Mexico from according to their data that was given to me. Second was Phoenix in Arizona, Tucson, and then there was Texas was like number 4 on the list.
Yeah, Nevada's had a pretty big out-migration from California the last several years. Arizona and Texas. A little bit to Utah, Oregon, Idaho. Been moving out of California. The U-Haul, it cost a lot more to at least double to hire a U-Haul to move your furniture out of California to another state than it does from another state to California.
Yes. Yes, it's 77% more expensive to leave California than it is. It's 77% cheaper to move to California.
Yeah, I could rent a U-Haul here in Oregon to go down to San Francisco for, I'm guessing, say $300, and the opposite direction, the same amount of miles, the same unit, it would cost me probably 3 times as much, maybe 4 times.
In Canada, that would be like $20,000. But I'm being sarcastic. So, guys, let's just interrupt here. Let's look at this beautiful 1969 colonial revival in Burlington, North Carolina. $215,000, situated on a nice piece of property. Beautiful columns on the outside. Look at that architecture. Beautiful. Just stationary. You got the hurricane shutters on the outside here. Beautiful back end, winding in to a separate garage, carport on the end there. Beautiful, original, real hardwood floors that you could actually sand down and revarnish. Crown moldings need a little bit of paint. Baseboards look like they need a little bit of improvement, but you got a big walkout area in the back. You have a personal library here, and then you got about 10 bedrooms to work with here. And that is going for, I think it's $215,000, and that is about 350,000 Australian, and that is about 300,000 Canadian. Continue. Go ahead, Mitch.
Well,
oh, and by the way, that same house we just saw in Canada, $4 million. Okay, continue, Mitch.
I don't know what the solution is short of a major crash, but as long as people can't afford to buy, the average income can't afford to buy an average home in an area, there's going to be serious repercussions and serious problems, social problems, and more divorces, more suicides, more chaos. After World War II in America, and I'm assuming it was the same or similar in Canada, there were plenty of jobs. One husband could support his wife and kids. The average woman was having 4 kids in America after the war. That's when the baby boomers began, and they could afford a small house and a decent school and a nice medical coverage and one car family. They didn't have high expectations, but anyway, the average guy could pay off a house in 2 or 3 years worth of income.
At what's at 7% rate?
Yeah, and the average income for a male, just a high school education after World War II, he could use 20% of his income to pay for a modest mortgage. And now, what is it in Canada? The guy has to use 80%, 100%, 110% of his income to pay just the mortgage?
Well, no. What happened now, it's about 70% in some cities in Canada, 54% in the smaller towns. But Mitch, remember that article I brought up where it takes 23 years for the average earner to save up to put a down payment on a home?
Well, very few people can afford to save. And as far as what'd you say, 80%, the average Canadian has to use 80% of his income to afford the average home?
In some unreported areas, yes. And their people are house broke. But if you go to other smaller towns, it's 50%, 30%, depending on how much they put down, depending on how smart they were when they bought the property, depending if they bought it at the right time. It varies back and forth, right?
Yeah, but then if they're increasing your property tax and charging you for the rain, if it rains on your property, that they're charging you for the runoff, and they're increasing your property tax, and they're figuring out every way to attack you to get extra revenue for the government, it's soon going to be 100%.
Okay, guys, interruption here. We have this beautiful colonial built in 1889 in Stamford, New York, $89,000. Beautiful colonial house. You could even use this to actually film an entire YouTube series on it, like an Addams Family type of thing. You could use this house. There it is, built, and it's part of the Heritage Collection. There is the house there. It comes with several acres of land, and it's off of a main. There's other homes here on the street, so it looks like you got quite a few neighbors. and you have lots of room to do stuff. This is a good fixer-upper for a family starting out. Well, there's so many bedrooms, like 20 bedrooms in this house. It's a great fixer-upper, and it is, let me go back here. What was it here? What was the 8 bedrooms, 8 baths, 7,900 square feet, $89,000. That is 113,000 Canadian, and that's 45,000 Australian dollars. Okay, continue, Mitch. Oh, in Canada, $4 million. Continue, Mitch.
Well, that particular property, it's safe to assume that it's going to take a Herculean task to try to get that back to its original pristine condition.
Doesn't matter, Mitch, because that same house in Australia in that condition is $4 million. I don't care. I've seen houses in Australia go to auction, sell for $2.2 million, and they don't have an indoor bathroom.
Oh boy! Well, people are living in a different world than I'm living in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how people are getting by with that. I think that it's probably they're floating a lot of debt. I've had friends that have gotten deep into real estate, and when real estate's moving up, they're living high on the hog. And then when I've lived through 2 really strong down cycles,
Mm-hmm.
and experienced them firsthand. And when things go down, these people who are living high on the hog, who are into real estate, who own several properties, start to feel the squeeze, and then they start robbing Peter to pay Paul. They borrow credit cards, they get more credit cards, and then they pay off the loan on one credit card with the other credit card, and then they borrow from family, and then they try to refinance, and they pay higher interest on the refinance because their credit situation is worsening, and then finally they get cornered. And they really get in big trouble, and they have to face the music. That's what usually happens. But it can take several years for that thing to unwind.
Okay, guys, another interruption here. 1908 classic revival in Lyons, Georgia. That's not far from where Chuck Norris had a cottage or a home. I think Chuck Norris lives close to that area. $575,000. Look what you get. A plantation, an entire plantation, 5 bedrooms. And it is almost 6,000 square feet for the house. There's the plantation right there. It's got its own gated area. Look at that. Look at that plantation. Look at that drive around for people to drop you off. Look at that massive back end. Look at that massive parking area on the back end of the house. The house has very little to no structural. This is beautiful. This doesn't need anything here. So it's got a ton of bathrooms. Oh, it has an elevator too. You see, to put an elevator in a house in Canada will be $400,000. So you could get one here for the same price inside a house. There's the attic. There's all the ductwork for you to see. It's been upgraded to standards. Oh, it's got a pool. Holy crap, it's got a pool. And it's got a weird barn. You could find a General Lee Dodge Charger in there. Holy crap. You can find an old Camaro in there or something, and you buy the barn when you get the property. When you buy the property, you get the barn. Look at that, a whole plantation, $575,000 American. That is $710,000 Canadian. That's $803,000 Australian. And for roughly, in Canada, if you were to buy a house, an estate this big, a plantation, you're looking at about $7 million. Okay, go ahead, Mitch.
In my hometown down near the San Francisco Bay Area,
Mm-hmm.
which is not a high-end town, that for that amount of money, you will get a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1-car attached garage, World War II slammed together, inexpensive, cheap house on a 60 feet by 120 foot lot in a poor location. For that amount of money, that's what you'll get in a cheap town in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Well, that's why everyone's leaving California. That's why California is a huge ripoff. It's foreign investors have been pouring money in there for the last 10 years in California.
Well, I've seen it happen before, and it doesn't end well. Things just don't keep going in one direction indefinitely. They just don't.
Mm-hmm. I'm going here. I'm going into the comments saying, So Anna Key is saying, let's buy it, Mike. Yeah, there's some places you could just buy on a line of credit with, like, some people have some huge lines of credit here because they have so much equity in their houses, right? So let's look at this one here. This is a 1910 Cameron, South Carolina, $304,000. This house is almost 5,000 square feet, 5 bedrooms. Look at this beautiful house sprawled on all this land. Oh, wow, and it even has a guest home. Oh, my God.
Huh.
Wow.
That's gorgeous.
It's absolutely gorgeous. But the problem is this house in like, again, in Australia, you're looking at about $5 million. In Canada, $4 million. This is a 304,000 American. That's about 500,000 Canadian, and that's about 430,000 Canadian. That's about 550 Australian thousand dollars.
Something is wrong in Canada. Something is wrong in Australia badly.
You don't even want to know what this thing would cost in New Zealand. It's like 5 million New Zealand dollars there.
300,000, 304,900 asking.
Oh, you walk in there, say, I got 290. What are you going to do?
It looks like that place has been totally gone through and is in really nice shape. This is the way it appears anyway. That's beautiful.
I just want this for everybody. I want everyone to live this dream. That's why I've been doing this show, Mitch, for so many years, because I want people to really wake up to see that it doesn't cost $500,000 to build a house. You know, people are buying land and trying to build homes, and they're realizing it costs more money. You might as well buy the house built already.
You know, Mike, logic would tell me that things should actually be more affordable in Canada than in America. That's what logic tells me, if the country was run properly.
Right, exactly.
Not just housing, but a lot of things.
Well, you know that all the material that built this house right here probably came from Canada? All the material to build this house came from Canada?
Yeah, you ever watch The Uneducated Economist?
Yes, I do. I like that guy. I had him on my channel way back in the day.
He had a vlog yesterday about the lumber situation, mostly pressure treated and CDX plywood. But he said that that his lumber yard is buying a lot of its products from Canada.
Right, exactly. They're buying it from Canada, but when a Canadian wants to buy lumber to build their house, it's 10 times the price that they pay in Oregon from it that they're buying from us.
Yeah, well, he said that we in the Pacific Northwest are sending a lot of our prime lumber to China.
Exactly.
And then we're buying stuff, cheap from Canada.
Yep. They're selling all the good lumber to China, and all the decent lumber is coming in from Canada.
Canada, I know that you talked about the weather situation. The further north you go into Canada, that most of the population sits closer to the border at the more southern latitudes. Mm-hmm. But there's no reason. Canada has so few people and so much land and so many natural resources. There's no reason why, if its country was run even halfway decent, why people couldn't live well and afford to be comfortable. Everybody should have jobs. Canada should have an abundance of a good life for everybody. There's no reason. It doesn't have nearly the problems that America has. In America, you can see that in many ways you can live much better in America than you can in Canada.
Yeah, well, because affordability issues, right? If affordability issues weren't so high, we wouldn't be in this situation, right? Look at this: 5 beds, 5 baths, $199,000, a good starter home for a family. And look at this. We could run a whole YouTube series restoring this house, and the viewership you get off it with the AdSense could pay for the house itself. Restoring one of these older homes and modernizing it, and there's just so much opportunity in America. Look at this. Little mini mansions, estates, plantations. I can't believe how many plantations are for sale. And they're going for nothing.
Mike, a young couple, married or not married, that are working at McDonald's, or a couple of friends, that just want to start going into business. That are working at McDonald's for $12 an hour, could get into a simple home, fix it up, sell it, and then get into a nicer home, and 2 or 3 homes later, they own a big plantation.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know. Let's see. Wow, look at this thing. Look at this estate. Guys, take a look at this. Built in 1819 in Delta, Pennsylvania. Wow, that's actually a very sought-after area. 399,000. Wow, it's a historic Castate Finn mansion. It's a mansion owned, I guess, by a family. I guess that was probably in the Civil War, or a family or general or somebody. Look at that thing. Holy crap.
1819, did you say?
Yeah.
Wow, that's early.
That's way before the Civil War. I'm sorry. That's way before I'm so sorry. I meant to say maybe 50 years after the Declaration of Independence was signed.
Yeah, I can't remember who was president in 1816. I think Andy Jackson came. He was number 7. There was what was it? Washington.
It was
Jefferson,
George Washington, John
Adams, Jefferson, and then Madison, and then
yeah.
Roe, and then John Quincy Jr. Oh, by the way, the U.S. president that is allegedly the most intelligent president who's ever lived, guess who it was?
The most intelligent president that ever lived.
Who allegedly had the highest IQ. Let me put it that way. Doesn't mean you're intelligent.
I would think, in my opinion, would be Eisenhower.
No, it was John Quincy Adams, the junior.
John Adams' son.
Yeah. Oh, I think he might have been the grandson. He was the son of the grandson. But he allegedly had an IQ of 170, which is off the charts. And he was a weird guy. He used to take all of his clothes off and skinny dip in the Delaware River or whatever. He didn't care who saw him or anything else. He was a strange dude, but he allegedly had an IQ of 170. I once went over all the presidents, what their I guess there's enough documentation on the different presidents, enough literature for somebody to try to determine exactly what their IQ was. Although I don't go a lot on IQ. A lot of people I know that have high IQs really have a bad blind spots and are really dumb in some areas.
Yep, you can't argue people that are agreeable with everything, right? So, ooh, look, a nice castle.
That one needs some work.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, Mitch. It's getting to a point where the youth in Canada is gonna. I don't know, man. I've been trying so hard to wake everybody up. I don't know what to do. I've been trying so hard, Mitch. You have no idea.
Now, Mike, aren't you? You're Generation X, right?
Yeah, I'm 42, so I got about 42. I got about 14 years left to live. Continue.
Well, the millennials, who I think the oldest millennial is 39, I think. I could be wrong on that, but anyway, my daughter's a millennial, and this is the first generation in America, the millennials, that have a worse life, worse prospects, lower income, higher cost of living. They're just a mess right now, and never before since the Great Depression have so many people, millennials, younger generation, been living with their one or both parents, or with grandparents, or with aunts and uncles, with somebody, and they can't even afford a life of their own.
No.
And it's getting worse. And by the way, do you ever watch a guy named Jeremiah Babe?
Yes, I heard of him. Yes.
Yeah, he's down in Riverside, or
yes, Riverside, California. Yeah, he used to. Yeah, I know of him. Yes.
Well, he did a vlog yesterday, and he's showing how all these tent cities are just exploding, and how all the commercial real estate, beautiful malls and stuff are shutting down, and even now that they've opened up some, there's people out, but nobody's buying anything. And anyway, the writing's on the wall, Mike. They just keep producing all this funny money to keep everything going, but the funny money is going to be cut off sooner or later. And when they do, there's going to be millions of people that are going to be out on the street when these eviction moratoriums and foreclosure moratoriums and forbearance and all this, when this all comes to an end and all these big high unemployment and stimulus and $600 extra and all this stuff, when all that stops, it's going to be a total collapse. And if they keep printing money, which they are at a higher and higher rate, something bad is going to happen. Nobody's going to want to buy our debt anymore, and the game is going to be up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about America.
The jig is up. The gig is up.
Yeah, I know we've got a lot of listeners that aren't from America, but I have to I'm America-centric because I'm an American.
Well, that's why we have you on the show, Mitch, to give us your perspective on what's going on there in the West Coast.
Well, I'm living in a pretty affordable area compared to a lot of the West Coast, and still people here are struggling. There's homeless guys. I see people talking to themselves, schizophrenics all the time. I see alcoholics all the time. I know a lot of them by name. I talked with several of them. Some of them, of course, they don't see me when they're talking,
Mm-hmm.
But there's people with mental illness, with drug and alcohol issues, who just have plain hard luck, falling between the cracks. They're all over the place here. And I know that there's places all up and down the West Coast where it's just getting worse, and it's getting worse here.
Yeah. And
10 years
liar
ago,
from the Shire is saying this is the real COVID-19 crisis right here. This is the real, not the sickness, but the overextendedness and the homelessness and people dying of all these drugs and opioids and all this crisis and unaffordability levels and people getting bought out and wages not catching up to inflation. That's the real virus.
You ever listen to Rob Kirby?
I don't listen to a lot of people on YouTube. I like to keep my stuff as fresh as possible. The only person I listen to is Max Kaiser. And occasionally I listen to Peter Schiff. Occasionally I actually like to listen to Gerald Celente. Those are the people I listen to. I listen to them on a semi-regular basis. And I listen to The Raven. But that's about it.
Rob Kirby is also Canadian, and he's an expert in derivatives and bonds and etc. And he's so credible that he schooled Jim Willey, Dr. Jim Willey, who is a pretty smart guy, and he schooled him on some certain issues. But he said that the COVID virus is man-made. And this was a vlog he just did within the last couple of days. Man-made, man-released. This whole thing has been a plan. He agrees 100% with Raven.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything he said in his recent vlog, I just watched it today. It was exactly in line with what Raven has been saying.
Oh, the Raven's been foretelling this since he's been coming on the channel over a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The writing's on the wall, right? Everything's been there. Everything's been in place. It's now, they're pulling the trigger on some events, and that's what's been happening. All right, Mitch, I'm going to let you go. We've been talking for half an hour. I'm going to wrap up the show. It's time for me to go and put my kids to sleep.
All right, good night, all. And
God bless you.
Thank you, Mike. God bless you, too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
That is our man, Mitch Madden from the West Coast in Oregon State, giving us an update on what's happening here in trends in the housing market. Guys, it's me, Mike. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to also share this video. Less than 19, okay, with Google and YouTube Analytics, less than 19% of the people that are watching or watch my channel are subscribed to it. That's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So if you guys don't mind subscribing to my channel, I'll send you a glass of water. Subscribe to the channel, be part of the channel, call into the show. And we will talk. We will talk on the show. Be part of it. We got MG in the channel, Anthony Ruvalacaba in the channel, The Raven in the channel. We got Lord Humongous here, Sean Liemerman, Craig Cook, Dexon Blue. Who else we got? Papa Pissed in the house as usual. Mike Banks. Who else we got? Jem Rose. The Liar from the Shire. Always contributes some really good conversational pieces here. Who else we got? Kaiser Charter. Afzal Khan. Anthony. So Afzal Khan is asking the same question over and over. And maybe you guys could put in the comments below if you've sat back and watched the entire video. What country will recover first, Canada or Australia? I think Australia will be the first country to recover because I think it's the first country that's going to go. In my opinion, it's going to fall. And I think it's going to be anywhere from 7 to 15 years before you see a proper recovery in Australia. Canada will go a little bit later. I think New Zealand will follow. That's just my opinion. So I think Australia will be the first to recover, but it's the first to fall. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Remember, guys, take care. And if you can't take care, please stay safe. Share this video and get this out there. And